This program is brought to you in part by SalCal Real Estate Connections. Welcome back to round two of the 2018 Daytona 500 party here up at Gary's house. And boy, let me tell you, we are certainly having a great time. The race, as you can see, was just absolutely unbelievable. And yes, once again, Don Moon, and we're at Gary Benkowski's Daytona 500 party. And if by some reason we missed your Christmas show, but you know what, Don? We're here. We finally got you cornered. Now tell me, what's going on today?
Well, I'll tell you, it's February. Spring is coming. I can't wait. And can't wait to have the reunion so I can show some new stuff that I built. And I enjoy going and, you know, seeing all the people and stuff. And a lot of our friends are sick.
Oh, is that right?
They got cancer, and Frankie Manafort, he's got fourth-degree cancer in his bones and his liver. That ain't very good to know. And Danny Galulu, he had a tumor, a brain tumor. He's getting better. And our poor buddy Jap, he had a tooth pulled out and had an infection, and that cleared up, and he had a knee done.
Oh.
And he's back in the hospital. But we're all coming along pretty good. We're all getting younger.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't believe I was just talking with everybody how 1 year has gone by so quick.
So quick and so fast. It's like my race car. It was always fast.
Yeah.
And the years are getting faster. I think it's because we're getting younger.
Yeah. And oddly enough, Don, I was at Wallingford this morning racing one of my grandsons, and I was telling him, I said, smooth as fast. You know, it's such a thrill for me to see one of my grandsons race.
Yep, that's very exciting to see. No, my son never took my place and tried to get in a race car. He went with heavy equipment, and he cuts down trees.
Hey, you know what? Everyone's got something. Everyone.
But I can't wait to see the reunion. I can't wait to see the weather better, and I hope we have a good time at the reunion.
Now, you say you got something new there. What's that?
I got this how Plainville Stadium started in 1941. Joe Tinty, when he purchased the land, and how he had an airfield there, and Tinty's Flying Ranch, and he had the Barnum Bailey Circus come in, and he went up in the Barrel of Death, which is the motorcycles that go around the circle. And he says if they watch these go around in a circle, why won't they watch them on a flat track? So he built Cynthia's Flying Ranch, and that turned into be a motorcycle track for about 2 years. And then it turned into they call it jalopy racing, which is stock car racing. And then they finally asphalted it. They had midgets on there too.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of success there.
It's hard to believe what went on there in the day. I mean, they had that cinder track. They used to call it.
It was all cinders.
Yeah.
It was all cinders. And then I guess Ted Tappet was doing a little zigzag racing, and the stuff was flying up in the stands, and the people couldn't take it, so they had to pave it.
Wow. I remember going to Stafford when it was dirt, and at the end of the night, you look like you come out of the desert. You were covered with dirt.
Look, I was farmer picking potatoes.
Yeah.
That's how dirty it was. I know. I used to go there.
Now tell me, how's that lovely wife of yours?
Very good. She's still hollering at me, keep me out of trouble.
Keeps you out of trouble, though, huh? Yeah. And I'll tell you, who do you got in the pool today?
Number 3.
Oh boy, you got a good car.
Yeah, I hope so. I haven't made no money all these years with the racing, so I ain't about to make any more now.
Now tell me, it's got to be exciting for you to be a Connecticut racer, to see Ryan Preece out there today.
Oh, yeah, that's nice to see, because somebody from, well, not our hometown, but somebody from Connecticut to go out there and really run.
Oh, yeah.
I hope he does well.
Yeah, I hope so, too. He's got a big future out in front of him.
Yeah, well, look, Logano, look where he is today.
Yeah.
He's from Connecticut, and he came right up through the ranks, and he's doing real well. I think he's possibly a chance of a winner.
Yeah, I mean, Anybody could win this race today. Believe me, I don't care where you start. Anybody could win it.
Yeah, and anybody can crash.
You got that right.
But the best man wins.
Yeah, racing's racing.
Right.
Or rubbing's racing.
Whatever you want to call it, you got to get the job done.
Well, Donnie, I don't want to tie you up. I know you got things to do here. You're going to enjoy this. But as usual, you're right on your game, and we're looking forward to that reunion again this year. Thank you for your interview.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take care now. And yes, another racing person, Ronnie Beckman. You guys have been involved in racing for years. Tell me about it.
Yes, my father was racing modifieds back in the 50s and 60s, racing Plainville Stadium, Malta, New York, and who knows, Cherry Park. I don't even know if people know that one. But then when I turned old enough to drive, I told him I wanted to race. He said I was crazy. I said, yeah, well, I bought a car, and he goes, all right, let's see what you got. And we went racing back in the 80s. Started in 1980, racing sportsman division at Stafford.
Tell me, you still have the garage in New Britain?
No, I don't. I sold that 4 years ago, and I was working there up until this past August, and now I'm working down at Norton's Auto Marine in the Ionic with my brother-in-law.
Yeah, I know over the years, there's a lot of race cars come out of that garage.
We've had, well, I hooked up with my brother-in-law, Gary Binkowski, and he had driver George Nacero out of Quarter Midgets, and we built a car. And they ran out of 10 years out of my garage. And then Megan Binkowski, his daughter, also had a car running out of there. And George done very well. Megan won a race. We had a lot of fun back then.
It's all about, I mean, you got to have fun in your life. Now, I'm hoping that Gary gets his son Steven in one of these cars.
Yeah, that would have been good a few years ago, but I think Steven's past the point now. My two sons wanted to race, and I said, yeah, I can't afford that. So we went boating and fishing instead.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, my father was my number one crew chief, my number one fan. I mean, without him, I wouldn't do what I did in racing.
Tell me, you got somebody in the pool today?
Yeah, they're all the back markers, I have to say. I got Brendan gone in one pool, and I don't know who in the other pools. So hopefully I'm going to take home first out.
Well, let me tell you, today's race, anybody could win.
That's true. There's a lot of young kids. I mean, they are very young driving today. It just amazes me, I didn't start racing until I was 18 years old. And then these guys are running Winston Cup or Spring Cup or whatever they call it now at 20. And that just amazes me how they could do it.
I mean, you're right. You're usually young, but I got something I want to show you. Does this look familiar to you?
Oh, yeah.
Huh? Number 20, who is that?
That is me. That is R.J. Beckman.
Yeah, we'll get Bill to take a picture of that close up.
That is my second car that I ran at Stafford. I had bought a Bobby Lewis Sportsman to start with. And this car I built from scratch with my own hands.
So now, were you racing a few years already or no?
But I think this is probably the first year I was out there with it.
Wow.
Wait a minute, it's white. No, this is the second year I had the car because the car originally was maroon.
How'd that car go?
Not too good. It was a learning curve. It took me a while to figure it out, but we got it. I mean, when Stafford got rid of the division, the sportsmen's, we went to the pro stocks, and that's when we really started to take off. We were really in the groove, and I already had about 3 years under my belt. So, and we were traveling too. We were running Monadnock and Claremont, Thompson and Stafford. We weren't just at one track. So Riverside Park taught me a lot of how to drive. Being a small bull ring, I mean, that was a very nice track to race.
I'll tell you, Stafford really is. I mean, you get up some steam in Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford was good. But I only ran there like a year and a half, so it's really hard to say what would have happened. But the track I had my heart set on, and I would go back in a heartbeat, would be Thompson, Connecticut.
I always liked Thompson.
That's the super speedway of the Northeast. I mean, that track just beautiful to run up there. And I don't know. I love Monadnock was very fast too. Being a quarter mile, you had to be on your toes. But yeah.
Talk to Reggie Ruggiero. And we used to talk about Plainville Stadium, and he told me, he said, Larry, if you could drive a car on that flat quarter mile, you could drive a car anywhere.
Well, he's right, because when I first started racing Riverside Park, it was flat. And then after a couple years, they decided to do the high banks up there. So I got both worlds. I had the flat track and the high bank. And it really changed the perspective up there. When they banked it in good conditions in the mid of the summer, that track was fast. But, you know, being next to the river, it changed every night.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was really saddened when they closed that racetrack. A lot of the memories there, huh?
Oh, yeah. Very good memories, too, at Stafford. Or Riverside, I mean. That's where I won my first feature. I took a lot of heat money, a lot of consolation money out of there. Ben Dodge was promoting it at the time. I mean, that was a nice track to race.
It was fun, huh?
Really fun, yes. And the Bear Garden was better after the end.
I didn't want to say it, but you got it. I understand. And we know the feeling.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I want to thank you, Chuck. You were excellent. And we're going to let Billy take a picture. This number 20. We want to show everybody what you drove.
All right.
Take care. Thank you.
Yes, it was fun to talk to
Good job.
Ronnie about his number 20, just like we were back in the day.
And yes, once again, Fred Elkus, Gary Benkowski's 500 party.
Yep.
Another year has gone by, huh, buddy?
Yeah. Another year of pure joy went by.
Tell me, who do you got today in the pool?
Oh, I'm in so many pools, I can't lose. I got to have somebody. I got about 8 or 9 different guys, so I got to hit somebody.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm in here. I'm in other pools that I got. I got to hit something. I better hit something. We need it for the race car, my grandsons.
The good thing about today is anybody can win that race.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I hope Ryan Priest.
I do, too.
I like that kid. I've seen him grow up, and I'll tell you what, he is the nicest kid you ever want to meet.
I know. I was talking with your brother, Dave, and I said, you know, it's such a good feeling to see a Berlin, Connecticut guy who was just a great racer, growing right up through all the ranks. I would have never envisioned today he'd be starting the Daytona 500.
Right, exactly. I say the same thing, and I'll tell you, at Stafford and everything, I can remember my grandson. He races Bandoleros. He was in the trailer with him, and I says, "Get out of his way! You're in his way." And he's in there helping, Ryan mount tires. Ryan said, "No, he's okay. Leave him alone." He said, "I'm teaching him how to do tires, so when he gets older, he can do the same thing." So I mean, absolutely fantastic with kids. Personality-wise, he's absolutely a great person.
The whole family, really, when you think about his grandfather, Bobby Judkins.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Bobby Judkins. That's in my day with Bobby Judkins. And then you got Jeff Priest, his father, and he raced at Riverside Park. I remember him racing, and we had a ball with him, absolute ball. And then with Ryan, I mean, it's unbelievable. You love to see this family carrying on, their family, my family, a lot of families, Mordinos, Mumbrinos, and all of them are still carrying on.
Let me tell you, this morning, you know how my day started? They picked me up at 8:45. We going to Wallingford to watch go-kart race. Yep. My grandson, Dominic, and guess who I seen there?
Yeah, my grandson.
Tyler.
Tyler had to be there. Tyler Elkins, yep.
Boy, I said, you don't have to worry about the weight limit, do you? He said, oh, no.
Oh, no. Matter of fact, he's at a disadvantage because somehow over the wintertime he's gained weight. I may have to buy him a new fire suit. So, and I'll have to take his old one and try to drive something. I don't know.
What I found interesting was if the kid's under 100, he don't have to do nothing.
No.
You know, over 100, you know, they add weight to you.
Yeah, they keep adding the weight to him, and he's at a disadvantage. And he keeps saying to me, you know, he says, you know, either I got to lose, and he's been trying to lose weight, but he says, you know, it gets to the point where he says, I'm at a disadvantage. He says, I got to get an advantage. He says, either we got to tell him to boost up the motor a little bit or something. And I said, you can't do that. They got to run all the same motors, you know. But he'll get there. He'll get there.
He will. I tease him down there. I said, listen, you better learn how to road race because that's my deal. I said, he's, oh, no, I like the oval.
Yeah, oh, no. And he's even said it at Thompson. They've got it for the legend cars that they do the road course and stuff. And he said to me, you got to get me one of these legend cars so I can run there and run at Thompson and some of the road courses. I says, what do you think I am, Rockefeller? I said, we need sponsorship to do that. He says, well, you can go get it. Oh, sure. Yeah, I can just walk right out there and get them.
You know, Fred, what I like about this racing down there, you don't have to worry about the cart. They give you a different cart every week.
Right, yeah.
I told my son, I said, you're lucky because I don't know what it costs to do this, but when you go on your own with your own cart, boy, you're going to get an education.
Oh, God, yeah. I know when Tyler was racing the go-karts, you had to keep up with everybody with their different, you know, like the motors, the different stuff they would do to the motors and the tech they would do to them, tearing them down, putting them back together again the next week and getting them ready. A lot of money, even racing at that division at go-karts and stuff. So, you know.
To keep fresh tires on it, and let me tell you, it don't happen, or no one's waving a magic wand.
Nope. And without sponsorship nowadays, I mean, you look at Ryan. He took a shot in the dark, had some good sponsors to bring him up there for the, you know, with Joe Gibbs. And that was the best thing he could have possibly done. And look where he is now. You know, hopefully he'll keep right on going. And I mean, he made it to the big time, so now he just got to keep it up.
I just hope today he just stays out of trouble and he has a good finish, you know.
I think so. I think he's going to do very well today because he's got the head to do it. He knows how to draft from like Loudon and stuff like that with the modifieds. He knows about drafting, so he'll do good. And even with the twin races when he was over there, he tried to make a move at the end, the last lap, to dive down, but he had nobody to go with him. So he's got to get somebody to take some faith in him, go down low. I think he can win this thing. I really do.
To win this race, you got to have a dancing partner. No question about it.
Yeah, you got to have a dancing, or more than one. You can have one or two. And they got to allow, you know, and I mean, I was watching this all week long. Nobody's really allowing the guys to run downstairs. They're afraid to take a chance down low. They're saying up high runs. Nobody's giving them a chance to put some rubber on the track and run down there. They can do it. They just got to get a few down there to do it.
How odd it is how year to year everything changes. You know, remember the bum drafting and I mean, you know, if you were high, you were out. Never mind. Now if you're high, you're going to win the race.
Right, absolutely. You know, everything used to be down low, down low, down low. Now everybody's running up high, and the way they've got the cars conformed with the different, you know, aero packages and stuff that they have in them, it's amazing. I mean, they're trying to make racing better and better, and hopefully they don't lose that because I like to see clean racing and hard racing.
Well, I'm going to tell you, though, I'm not a big fan of this stages and all this business. I'm not a real big fan of it.
Right, where they go through the three different, you know, segments of this thing. I don't like that. They should run a race, get it over with, you know, and let them make their pit stop. If they go down a lap, get a lucky dog or what have you. You know, now it's making it too easy for them.
Yeah, I'm not with the stage racing. I really am not.
Yeah, no, me neither. I really don't like it either myself. No. But, you know, they'll come up with something. They keep doing. NASCAR tries to improve it, and hopefully with all of their improvements, they don't ruin it. Because that's the other thing they could do, too, is if they go too far with something, now you're going to lose the people's interest and hurt racing.
Hey, without the fans, they got nothing. Believe me.
Absolutely, the fans are the fans. It's just like they say, cash is king. Without the fans are king. They're the ones that do it. They're the ones that really pay for the shows and everything else. And if it's not for the fans, you got to satisfy the fans, because if you don't, you're going to lose everything.
That's right. Jeez, I tell you, it's so good to see Dave. I haven't seen him in a while. And boy, he's never lost for words. That I'll tell you.
Oh, absolutely not. Whether he's on the fairgrounds for when we have our reunion or here or anything, that guy can talk for hours. I mean, he's hilarious. I love him.
And when you get him and Gary together, I mean, they're like two magic people, you know.
Oh yeah, them two. You get them two together like two peas in a pot, you know.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to tie you up. I know you're going to have some fun here. Good luck today, and we're going to have. I'm sure I'm going to see you down that racetrack with Tyler.
Oh God, yeah, I'll be down there with him. With him and the SK Light over there with my other son Mark. We'll be at Stafford and Waterford on a wacky Wednesday.
I got to get down there to watch Mark. I really haven't watched him.
We got to come down there and put a camera on Tyler's car.
Absolutely.
And we're going to try to get him, if everything goes good, we're going to try to get him where we can get him into, well, he's going to be trying the SK Light on Thursday nights. He can practice with that on Thursday night. And we're going to get him into that, and we're going to get him into a legend car, and hopefully have him driving them both next year. So it should be a good experience for him.
Yeah, it will be. And he'll do well. I know he will.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Have a great day here.
Thank you.
And as usual, you're right in your game.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Yep.
Yes, we certainly were having a great time at Gary's house, and it was always a lot of fun to meet up with everybody. And I'll tell you, we just had a great time here today, and the race was just outstanding. I mean, let me tell you, at the end of this race, boy, you didn't know who was going to win, but as usual, it was a lot of fun being here, and we look forward to coming back. Of course, you knew at some point we were going to end up in the garage, and Gary was showing his newest project, this Tempest that he put together with a hot Chevy motor in it. And believe me, he certainly is going to have fun with this car, I am sure.
Fully minor suspension under coil over, big disc brakes.
And yes, it was certainly a great time here at Gary's house during this 500 Daytona party. As usual, we just had a great time, and boy, I'll tell you, look forward to coming back here every year. Please tune in again next week to Racing Action Today.
This program is brought to you in part by SalCal Real Estate Connections.